Welcome to another episode of the Sleeper Dynasty Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Lehman. First off, I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. It really means a lot to me, and we have a lot of new listeners, so welcome. I'm glad you're here, and welcome to the Sleeper Gang. So today, we're going to be going over an updated top 24 rookie rankings, since there's been a little bit of change over the past month or so. But first, let's talk about a little bit of fantasy news. So moments ago, Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison was arrested on suspicion of drunk driving after being caught asleep at the wheel near LAX. So he's getting a DUI, is what that means. I don't know why we have to phrase it in such an odd way. But let's see. There's also more to the story here. This was from Field Yates. He found a piece from the LA Daily News. Officers responding to the area reported a white Rolls Royce blocking the number one lane on the freeway with the driver asleep behind the wheel, according to the CHP. Not good. Yeah. He was just sleeping, dog. I don't know. No, it's really not a good look for Jordan Addison. And I was actually someone who was feeling like the talent of Jordan Addison was something to buy in on. It really depends on if he's going to face a suspension for this. If he does face a suspension, then I would say, I wouldn't really be buying Jordan Addison. But if he doesn't face a suspension for this and it's just whatever, which may happen, it seems like, the community might be dropping Jordan Addison even more in their rankings. And if that's the case, I don't care if he's on the same team as Justin Jefferson. You might want to buy Jordan Addison because he's really talented. He had a great freshman. He had a great rookie season. So yeah, let's keep a lookout for, if any type of suspension comes. All right. So top 24 updated rookie rankings. Here we go. Number 1, we have Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, this is a change, all right? So Marvin Harrison Jr. is now my number 1 rookie for Dynasty. I'm sorry. I understand if you're... So this rookie, this is for a Superflex tight end premium leagues. That's what we're doing these rookie rankings for. But I understand that quarterback is really valuable. But I do think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is just so safe. Like, he feels so much safer to me, his value and his career. Like, there's a chance where Caleb Williams has a bad rookie season this year, right? There's a chance because it can happen. And if that happens with the wide receivers that he has, I would be shocked. But if it happens, the community is going to react to that. So at the end of the day, I think Caleb Williams is the best quarterback prospect in this rookie draft, which is why I have him at number 2. But Marvin Harrison Jr. I just feel I have 2 different teams, 2 different leagues where I have one of them I have Caleb Williams and the other one I have Marvin Harrison Jr. I feel a lot better in the league that I have Marvin Harrison Jr. with. So just keep that in mind. I know it's kind of hot takey. So Marvin Harrison 1, Caleb Williams 2 in tier 1. In tier 2, at number 3, we have Malik Nabers. And at number 4, we have Jayden Daniels. Malik Nabers has been getting so much hype. I think the talent of Malik Nabers is up there with Marvin Harrison Jr., to be honest with you. And it did cross my mind to bump Malik Nabers even into the first tier to show that. But you have to think about Daniel Jones. Now, Daniel Jones is also looking like he's getting ready to have a good year because this is the first time he's ever had wide receiver 1, right? And if you are watching Hard Knocks, I think the Giants are making some good decisions. I think the ownership is doing a good job of saying, hey, let's move on from Saquon, right? Like, we don't need an elite running back. Like, yes, we want an elite running back, but not enough to pay him as much as he's wanting. And let's just go, deck out our defensive line, make some moves for Brian Burns. Altogether, the Giants are making good decisions. And getting Malik Nabers to decide on if they have a quarterback in Daniel Jones, that's good management right there. I would have moved on from Daniel Jones and just moved on, but I think the patience there is actually kind of wise. So bring in a receiver. He's never had a wide receiver one. I think Malik Nabers is going to have a phenomenal rookie season. Jayden Daniels is also going to have a phenomenal rookie season. I think it might take him some time to get in the hang of things. Both of his wide receivers at LSU went in the first round for a reason. And that's because Jayden Daniels was able to sling the ball. Honestly, with Jayden Daniels' rushing ability as well, that's really where Jayden Daniels is going to score a lot of fantasy points. All right, tier 3, Brock Bowers, Rome Odunze, Drake Maye. All of them are pretty close in my opinion. Brock Bowers, because it's a tight end premium league, I think he's going to have a good year. Rome Odunze, I only have him down this far because, a lot of other people would say he's the wide receiver 3, probably closer to Malik Nabers. I don't think so. I think there's a very obvious tier under Malik Nabers there. And I think it's going to take some time with Caleb Williams as a rookie quarterback for Rome Odunze to kind of get in the swing of things. So I do think long-term it's going to be cool because Rome Odunze is going to be partnered up with Caleb Williams. Drake Maye, I feel like, has gotten way too much hate. All right. And in no way, shape, or form would I ever put JJ McCarthy in front of Drake Maye. I don't care who I'm talking to. For fantasy, for fantasy football, Drake Maye has rushing ability. JJ McCarthy does not. He can sling the ball and he has rushing ability. I mean, what more can you want? There's a reason why he went number 3 in the draft, and we shouldn't be sleeping on him just because he went to the Patriots. At number 8, Brian Thomas Jr. I'm a huge Brian Thomas Jr. believer. And to start off tier 4, this just seems right. He's going into a situation, top 5 vacated targets in the league with Trevor Lawrence, who just got the bag. He's not just a burner, but he does have elite speed, 4.3, 340, and he has length, 6'3", 209 pounds. So he can also run routes really well. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of sleeping on right now is they're like, oh, well, his route tree isn't developed. What are you talking about? That's not what I see in the film. By the end of the season, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is one that we're kind of looking at and we're like, how did we miss this one? I'm not gonna miss this one. So Brian Thomas Jr., he was my wide receiver 4 before the draft. He's still my wide receiver 4. Next, at 9, we have Xavier Worthy. A lot of people would put Xavier Worthy above Brian Thomas Jr. I think this is where he should go. He's going to have great long-term value with Patrick Mahomes, right? Nobody's saying that he's not going into a good situation for the future. My deal is he's going into a situation where there's not really any vacated targets. It's like an average vacated targets for the league. I think they're at like 15 or something. He's going into a situation where there's Marquise Brown, which isn't a crazy threat, but he's still there. Travis Kelce, who's probably going to lead the Chiefs in targets. And then you have Rashee Rice, who is facing a suspension, but as soon as he gets back, he's shown that he could be the wide receiver 1 on that team. And to wrap up tier 4, Jonathon Brooks. Jonathon Brooks arguably could go at the top of this tier. And his value is there. Like the community is all there on his value. It is such good value. And if you're a team that is coming off of a good season and you're able to add to your running back depth with the best running back in this year's draft, I just think this is a great year to have a late first round. And if you're needing a running back, right? You don't have to pay up like other years for the best running back in the draft. The one concern, Jonathon Brooks, he's not fully healthy yet. He's coming off an ACL injury. It's going to take him some time to get going. So that's the one thing with Jonathon Brooks. If I knew that Jonathon Brooks was a full go, and if we hear that within the next month, then Jonathon Brooks should be going higher. End of story. Jonathon Brooks should be going way higher. To start off tier 5 at number 11, we have Keon Coleman. I think the opportunity there with the Bills with Josh Allen, he's going to step into that Stephon Diggs role, hopefully. There was a little bit of concern just because he ran a slow 40 at the combine, and he really seemed to be trending downwards. But I think the opportunity for Keon Coleman with the Bills is really going to be a situation where he can show that he should have been drafted higher. So yeah, Keon Coleman at 11. Then we got Lad McConkey at 12. Listen, I know this is late for Lad McConkey. I'm finally starting to understand what's going on with Lad McConkey. The Chargers have their like top 3 in vacated targets, with Keenan Allen leaving, Mike Williams leaving. And Lad McConkey has the talent to step into that very, very large opportunity with Justin Herbert, who slings the ball 600 times every year. That's why I have him here to wrap up the first round, a potential first round. So top 12, we have Marvin Harrison 1, Caleb Williams 2, Malik Nabers 3, Jayden Daniels 4, Brock Bowers 5, Rome Odunze 6, Drake Maye 7, Brian Thomas Jr. 8th, Xavier Worthy 9th, Jonathon Brooks 10th, Keon Coleman at 11, and Lad McConkey at 12. So Keon Coleman, Lad McConkey were also in this tier, but to end tier 5 at number 13, we have JJ McCarthy. I know you probably see JJ McCarthy go way sooner than this. I'm not a JJ McCarthy fan. I think that statistically, he doesn't have the volume that other quarterbacks have had. And that's because he was in a run-first offense at Michigan. Now, he can win games, and he's shown that he can be efficient. He can, not throw interceptions, but something about JJ, man, I'm not a huge fan of. I think his success came off the back of Roman Wilson more so than him just being a great quarterback. So I understand that JJ McCarthy, in the community's eyes, is going to be going a lot higher. I will not be having any JJ McCarthy in any drafts this year because I'm not willing to pay the Drake Maye price for JJ McCarthy because that's near where he's going. At 14 in tier 6, we have Trey Benson to start off this tier. Trey Benson, to be honest with you, the value with Trey Benson, there are 2 running backs I want in this class: Jonathon Brooks and Trey Benson. Trey Benson, man, he went to the Cardinals, 3rd round pick, great draft capital. Trey Benson is going to be the leading running back for that team by the end of the season. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm just letting you know it's going to happen. I just think that he is a bell cow. He has the potential to be a bell cow. And I really think he's going to be great as a Cardinal. Love Trey Benson. At 15, we have Michael Penix Jr. Also a great value in drafts. You're getting the 8th overall pick in the NFL draft at the late 2nd round most of the time. So Michael Penix Jr., huge value. Love the value. And I don't care if he's sitting on my team. That is a great opportunity to stash a quarterback that could end up breaking out and gaining you a bunch of value. So if you have the opportunity in the mid to late 2nd round to draft Michael Penix Jr., go after it. Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles injury. We don't know how long that's going to last, this Kirk Cousins experiment with the Falcons. But we know that long term, they're looking at Michael Penix Jr. Next, we have Bo Nix at 16. Getting Bo Nix usually around the same time. Usually you see Bo Nix go before Michael Penix. He went 12th overall in the draft to the Broncos. If he ends up having a good rookie season, I do think, with these guys, they are a little bit older as quarterbacks go for being rookies, right? Not saying they're old or they're ancient. I'm just saying for rookies, they are old. Bo Nix, if he ends up breaking out, it's the same thing. You could gain a bunch of value. So yeah, mid to late 2nd, these quarterbacks, go after them, stash them, because if they end up breaking out, you gain a bunch of value. If you don't, you have a spot starter for your team. At 17, Xavier Legette. I love Xavier Legette. I love the talent. He's a little bit older. It's a little bit risky because he didn't have the production until his last season in college, but I don't care because he looks like A.J. Brown. I'm looking at the talent for Xavier Legette, and that's why in most leagues, I actually will come away with Xavier Legette because a lot of people are not as high on Xavier Legette. In my opinion, he went in the first round. I understand he went to the Panthers. He has the size and the athleticism for Bryce Young just to put it in the vicinity and let Xavier Legette go after it. So I absolutely love Xavier Legette. I love his value. Next, we have Ricky Pearsall at number 18 to round out tier 6. He's a first-round wide receiver, extremely talented, fast, great route running. He went to the 49ers. Now, I understand that Debo is there. You have Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. It's very crowded. We don't know how that's going to pan out for the future, right? But long-term, this is a great pick. He's a first-round wide receiver, extremely talented, and he's with a great organization. Don't let Ricky Pearsall fall too far in your drafts. That's all I'm saying. At some point, you got to look at your draft and say, there is still a first-round wide receiver available, and I need to take him over other guys. Tier 7, we're going rapid fire. All right. Adonai Mitchell at number 19, Jalen Polk at 20, Ben Sinnot at 21, and Blake Corum at 22. So the receivers at the top, Adonai is getting great hype. He looks so fast and agile running routes. There is an opportunity where I keep saying this because this is such a wide receiver heavy draft. There is a situation where he could potentially be better than Michael Pittman. I know that's crazy to say. A lot of people are high on Michael Pittman. This is the reason I'm a little lower on Michael Pittman, is because I see the talent of Adonai Mitchell, and I think that pairing him up with Anthony Richardson, he's just going to do great things. So I have him over Jalen Polk, which I also love Jalen Polk. He went at the beginning of the second round of the draft, went to the Patriots. He has the opportunity with Drake Maye to become the wide receiver 1 on that team. I've said that 5 times. He does. Jalen Polk, he has the speed. He's got great route running ability. He has the production in college. Getting these great wide receivers this late, like at the end of the second round, it's such good value. Ben Sinnot. Is up a couple spots for me. The community seems to be absolutely loving Ben Sinnot, and he has solidified his spot as the second tight end in this draft. I think he's a bowling ball. He has great yak ability. When he catches a ball, he does not go down with first contact. Okay. And he doesn't. So I love Ben Sinnot. I love that the community is starting to get higher on him. Right. And I think that with Jayden Daniels, it could be really interesting, right? Because you have that rushing ability. Linebackers are coming up, tosses it to Ben Sinnot. Ben Sinnot gets a bunch of yak. So I could see Ben Sinnot being super successful. And then to round out tier 7, Blake Corum. Not a Blake Corum fan. I think that the Rams drafted him for a very specific job of taking snaps away from Kyren Williams to give Kyren Williams a break, to take the workload off of him. We know how electric Kyren Williams was last year. Okay? I understand in the past, Sean McVay doesn't care about running backs, whatever. Like, he moved on from Todd Gurley. Like, he doesn't care. Whoever's giving him the production, he's going to let them do their thing. Kyren Williams was electric last year, guys. Electric. And if you don't know that, then you didn't have him on your fantasy team. You did not watch his games, because Kyren Williams was one of the best running backs in the NFL last year. I really don't want to hear it. Like, Blake Corum is an older running back who had a lot of success at Michigan. I understand he's got so many reps on bench, like very strong, very capable back to take away snaps from Kyren Williams on first and second down. But I don't think that it's going to be enough to make Blake Corum as fantasy relevant as we're all wanting him to be. in tier 8 and at 23, we're about to wrap it up, but Roman Wilson. Love Roman Wilson's tape. I think he made JJ McCarthy successful at Michigan. He looks like Amon-Ra on tape. He has that juice in his route running and the flexibility with his hips going in and out of routes. I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of Amon-Ra so much. I think that there is a possibility where we're all thinking George Pickens is going to be the guy, and I still think George Pickens is the wide receiver 1 on that team without a doubt. But Roman Wilson could take the Deontay Johnson role and could end up getting more targets. I mean, you never know. That is a possibility. And to wrap it up, we got Troy Franklin. He's going to his college quarterback with the Broncos. If he develops a connection with Bo Nix, he could be a sneaky pick in your draft because Troy Franklin, super fast. He's got the size. He's kind of skinny, but he's got like the length and the ability. He has the production in college. Have no idea why he fell so far in the draft. Like, he went in the 4th round. I don't feel like he should have been a 4th round pick, but the NFL knows more than we do when it comes to these players. So it's definitely something to be cautious about, but getting him here at the end of the 2nd round, kind of a steal, not going to lie. Let's go over that potential 2nd round real quick. So at 13, JJ McCarthy, 14, Trey Benson, 15, Michael Penix, 16, Bo Nix, 17, Xavier Legette, 18, Ricky Pearsall, 19, Adonai Mitchell, 20, Jalen Polk, 21, Ben Sinnot, 22, Blake Corum, 23, Roman Wilson, and 24, Troy Franklin. Tired of spending big money on jerseys? Check out our limited edition hand-drawn design t-shirts that feature your favorite NFL players. These shirts are super unique and way cheaper than spending money on a jersey. They're perfect for game day, draft parties, or just hanging out. Don't miss your chance to snag one. Use promo code FOOTBALL for 10% off at sleeperdynasty.com. That's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day and listening to me. It really means a lot. And I love this community, the sleeper gang that we're building here. So I just want to say everybody's welcome here. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure to leave a 5-star rating or review. It really means a lot. And make sure to follow us. If you're listening on YouTube and you like the show, please leave a like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Also, make sure to check us out on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Sleeper Dynasty. Peace.